What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Ulysses. We have a very spicy one for you, ladies and gentlemen. Two of the best players currently playing the game on their best civilizations. Mind you, we do have Ra versus Oranos, and who knows what Kimo is going to come up with here in this game, but it's a tough matchup to say the very least. But Kimo is easily one of the best players to be playing the game. Ulysses has been winning all the tournaments recently, and they're both going to be looking to play this one at their best level, it would seem, as we do see the economic guild actually getting dropped down here by Ulysses, a little bit delayed as he finds the zebra out on this position. I'm sure there's going to be a huge amount of hunt somewhere on this map. If we take a look at it, yes, there is. He's just missed a hunt over here, which is the big drop of zebra. There's some monkey or baboon up at the top side of the map. Lions, obviously your opponent's giraffe, are over there, as Ulysses will be spotting his giraffe over here momentarily. As he sees one, he sees two, and he goes, "Hello there, giraffe. Happy to see you." We'll be coming over there very, very shortly. And that's such a rough civilian unit move by Ulysses. However, it's not as bad as you think, because he's going to eat these two zebra over in the corner so long as he sees this one. It might move. It might be stuck there. But Ulysses will be able to just jump onto this tree and then move this wood villager here over onto chickens and be able to be fine here. But he might not even get himself a 430 advance here. It's going to be a very, very tough time for him when all is said and done. I mean, the other thing he can do is use a goat on this position here to eat after the final zebra does go down. But we will be seeing Kimo now moving on to this location over here. He's getting himself the monument here. I think one thing that Kimo does really, really well is kind of plays to the map. Well, his build order kind of plays to the map pretty well a lot of the time. So we'll see how things are going to go here. It looks like he's going to be going for a pretty delayed advance time against Oranos. Can sometimes be a bit of a difficult thing to pull off, especially if you want to be getting a second town center. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Kimo going one town center here and trying to make that work against Ulysses Oranos here, as he does see the zebra luckily over on this top corner here. Whether or not he will notice it, or this civilian unit will move over and automatically shoot that, is going to be another question, as the civilian unit's coming up here for Ulysses. He's got 157 food in the bank, as the village is still on wood here. Normally you see Oranos players pulling all their villagers off of resources here to jump onto food to get that 430 as best as he possibly can, but it just looks like Ulysses is going to take it easy here and go for a 5:15 advance time. A little bit of a different situation here, to be honest. I think he probably could have, I mean, if you take a look at the resources here, probably could have got like a 4:35 advance time. You can see the food and gold just about hitting 100. Probably could have gotten that, and it would have probably been fine. But going for the delayed advance time will allow Kimo to also have a lot of advantages here, going for a delayed advance time, as well as Kimo's zebra just about to be finishing up here. We'll see if he has the resources to advance. He's just about out of herdables in his main base as well. This is kind of as bad as it gets. And Kimo is going for Bast here. He is going for Bast. A 5-minute advance time Bast here from Kimo. Is he going to go for this hunt or not? You've got to be thinking, against Oranos, going for this hunt is absolutely crazy. But we'll see if he's going to go for it or not, as the villagers are going to wrap up on that location there. Are they going to move back home? They are going to move back home. So this build here from Kimo is one that I've kind of been thinking is maybe the right way to go against Oranos, because the 2 town center tar, fast farm tar build just doesn't seem to work against the Oranos players anymore. However, Bast, Sphinx, fast heroic, fast mythic, one of those two options, maybe going through scarabs, can be a really, really potent way to play against Oranos in the current meta. So we'll see if it's going to work, as Kimo is getting himself the gold he needs to throw these farms up. He's got this this goat remaining. He's going to be getting himself the plow very, very soon. Pickaxe coming through as well for Kimo, as he's got the resources for plow to boot, and he is going to be researching that one there, as Ulysses hits the second age here through Prometheus, getting himself the military barracks and the counter barracks up here. Very, very delayed. Lots of resources in the bank. He has himself hand axe, pickaxe, no husbandry, but a lot of resources here. So we'll see what he's going to be spending those on, or if he's just going to allow the military barracks, counter barracks kind of thing to do its thing and slowly spend the resources over time. As the armory coming up over here for Kimo, slowly getting his farms down. He's not built any Sphinx just yet. So to me, I mean, he obviously doesn't have any resources or he doesn't have any resources to build the Sphinx just yet. He will be picking off an Oracle over here. He could come over here and grab this, but Kimo's line of sight very, very low here. Doesn't really know where to go. But Sacred Cat's also coming through for Kimo. Farms coming up all over the place. Oh, he kind of messes up the windmill formation here. 1, 2. He built it on this farm over here where it needs to be off one square. But I mean, I think that, in all honesty, there's not really a whole lot of difference between a farm like this and a farm like this. But there is a big difference with this farm here. This one starts being inefficient, as we will be seeing rain getting dropped down very, very shortly. Armory coming up. Town center coming through for Ulysses as well. And now Ulysses has to be thinking there are two options coming through for Kimo. So Kimo has gone through Bast. He hasn't built any Sphinx. So there are two options. Option number one is scarabs. I mean, there's kind of 2.5 options. One is just really bad. So we'll go through the two options to make the most sense. So option number one is scarabs in the heroic age with a big timing push, making that work there. As we see the raid coming through onto this position, going to try and start taking out villages here, causing some issues in the main base of Chemo, but we'll see how things are going to go. Option number two is to be going for a fast mythic through Horus and making himself Avengers. Okay, there's 4 options. Option number 3, I don't think is very good, but the idea is to make Patsukos and go for like a kind of a timing attack with Siege Towers, Patsukos, and Eclipse to try and like take out all of the Oranos units. And option number 4 might actually not be a bad one, is to go for a fast heroic through Osiris and make mummies, utilizing Eclipse to kind of get a pseudo... what do you call it? A pseudo ancestors eclipse kind of thing. If you have like 3 mummies during eclipse, their special ability gets recharged much faster. You can pick up a whole bunch of units, get all those minions that get boosted by the eclipse as well, and it could be a way forward. So see this town center coming up. And now, given that all of those things are the possibility, the best way to play around this is to just throw military buildings around your town center. This kind of building placement against Ra is just not really going to be cutting it anymore. I don't think. You want to be putting your temple on the town center. You want to be putting your military building on this corner, your military building on this corner, a next military building on this corner here to completely block in your town center from any of the threats. Stopping Tornado from keeping off a town center with just getting Masons as well is a really, really good way to play. But Kimo here, plenty of resources in the bank right now. He's going through segments, so he will have that scarab. But we'll see what he's going to do with it, because I mean he's going to be running out of gold fairly soon. And Ulysses is 2 town centers with plenty of military units out here. He's also got the medium terma on patrol on this gold mine over here. Going to be looking to do that as we see a barracks coming down. We're getting Hierarchos Sphinx coming through here as well. What is that? That's a huge investment from Kimo when he's just got 1 Sphinx here, as the army trying to sneak in here to see what's happening. He doesn't see the market here, hasn't found a Migdol stronghold. The army has to retreat back, and Chemo's citadel is too strong on that position there, as the market will be coming through. I can't believe he went for Hierarchos Sphinx there. What is that? That's 10, 15 favor there. That's more than half of a Avenger if he wants to go for that. as we see Kimo gets his market up, and he will be advancing through which god is the big question here, as he just needs a little bit more gold, and he goes through Horus. He's going through Horus here. I've already said what the hard counter to this build kind of is. It is simply just good building placement around your town centers because it completely ruins the tornado's effectiveness. But the army coming back through onto this position will see the market here. He gets all of the information. Going after some villages, going to be losing a handful of units to make this happen. Whether or not this is going to be 100% worth it or not remains to be seen, as Kimo going to be retreating out past this wood line over here. He does have the Hierarcho Sphinx here that can move in and start getting some damage done. As look, there's so many units getting picked off here by Kimo. This is kind of what Kimo wants in a way, because Ulysses here is he got economic damage done, but he's about to get hit by somewhat of a timing here. As we see double barracks up for Kimo, he might be just going for axemen of some variety here. As we've got walls getting thrown up on this position, there are farms on this town center. He's starting to throw more military buildings up. There's an armory coming down for Ulysses as he wants to advance. Probably going to go through. You'd have to imagine going through Hyperion to get the chaos getting chucked down onto a potential Avenger or something like that. As the units swinging around onto this location, we'll see how that's all going to go. As the barracks getting popped up here by Kimo, more axemen, slingers coming out as well. As the Sphinx coming in onto this position, we see this citizen dropping in over there. As the army going to be retreating back. And now we've got double scarabs out. We will be having the Avenger out. Kimo's got himself 16 favor in the bank. Axeman Slinger shenanigans here. As I mean, the big thing about going Axeman Slinger and building only 3 barracks is you don't have to really spend that much gold on a Migdol. You save a little bit on Migdol and you save a little bit on the actual gold cost of the units you're producing. So it makes a lot of sense as the Sphinx are going to be moving in onto this position here, looking to drop the tornado here. As he does throw that down, he's going to take out a whole bunch of these buildings as well. We see Ulysses repairing this town center back up as Hyperion does hit here. The question is, will it be enough? As a whole bunch of these buildings were going down, and it does manage to pick off the town center here. I mean, if Ulysses had himself masons here, it probably would have been a pretty big deal, as the army going to be pushing through here. Surely you click Eclipse here, and yes, he does, as the Sphinx are going to start moving across the map at lightning pace here. 3.84 speed is not lightning pace, but he's going to be doing that as the army going to be moving in onto this position. We've got watchtowers through here. There's not that many units out for Ulysses. Ulysses is going to be going for heavy cavalry here straight away, as he wants to be building himself some of those Contarius here. Plenty of resources in the bank for Ulysses to make that work here, as the Chemo Scarabs trying to push through onto this position, not paying attention at the moment. He has to break down the gate over here, as Kimo is going to be moving in onto the main base, as the villagers in the main base starting to get taken down. You've got to be a little bit careful about that one, as the Avenger going straight after every single one of these citizens. We will be seeing the wall getting taken out over here, as the Scarab's going to be coming out onto this position. They see the palace here. Will they bother to take that out, or are they going to go after the town center straight away? It looks like they're going straight after the palace here, as some citizen getting taken down on this location. Those Hierarcho Sphinx doing tons of damage here, as the Avenger going to be moving in onto this position as well. Villagers happily on this gold mine right now for Kimo, as more and more units moving in onto this position over here, as the Avenger going to start taking down these Termi here to boot, as the mana gets cleaned up. More military buildings coming out here, as or units coming through here, as we do see, oh, what a huge chaos there hits the Avenger when there are 3 or 4 other military or myth units there to be picked, as we see the Valor getting dropped down there, the Contarius all popping out onto this position, as this army that Kimo has constructed has been completely hard counted by Ulysses. We see the shockwave coming through here onto this position as well to help these units come through. We'll see how this Avenger is going to be reacting here. It's going to be, unfortunately, go straight after the red units here, as Ulysses is getting a lot of advantages out of that one. As the town center doesn't go down, it doesn't go down. 90 HP remaining as the Sphinx going to come through here and attempt to finish this one off, doing a lot of damage over onto this position, and it looks like one hero citizen not going to be enough to repair that one up as Kimo takes Ulysses down to one town center. Ulysses has gotten his hometown center back up over here as the Sphinx going after this citizen as well. Maybe going to be able to pick this one off. The hero Contarius doing a lot of damage over here as the citizen is down to one hit onto this location. It looks like Kimo has done the damage in this game, as now we're starting to see some spearmen coming out for Kimo instead of those axemen, as the Avenger coming through onto this position, trying to bait the Avenger through here. We'll see what Kimo is going to be doing here. If Kimo can find the unit which is being attacked here, he's going to be able to send that one through. So he has found it, and he's going to be retreating that spearman back in onto his opponent's base. Unfortunately for the spearman, it does move slightly slower here, and they're just going to be trading Avenger for a bit of bait and switch here. Yeah, over and over again, both players know exactly what to do with that Avenger moving forward. We see a town center coming up for Kimo, as well as a Migdol stronghold. And to me, it looks like Kimo may have avoided kind of all of the pain that comes from playing against Oranos. He's done economic damage. He's in the Mythic Age. He's gotten a gold mine. He's getting himself a second town center here. Economically, he's probably a little bit behind, but he just needs to reconsolidate his position and defend, continue to hit raids with his myth units if he can. And make it work like that. Is he still building Avengers? Looks like he's not building Avengers anymore, as he is trying to make this work with the Avenger here. We'll see how he's going to go. As Kimo is, he's just going to be going ahead and retreating around this location. He's going to be able to take out the Avenger finally with his Pharaoh over here. Actually, the Avenger is a little bit tough to kill if it's moving to a Pharaoh, because it's got more than 5 speed. Anyways, the Avenger will get taken out. Contarius coming through here to try and take down these villages. They do not have Skin of the Rhino, and the Contarius have to retreat back here. As Ulysses has got his farms set up. He's trying to get his resources coming. He's sitting a little bit behind on the resources, or on the population, I should say, in terms of his resources. He could go after some Mermillo here, Mermillo, Contarius, Arcus, Destroyers. All of these options, not a bad idea. As Kimo pulling back, he's starting to make himself some camelry now to deal with those Contarius. Is a good idea there. We've got a whole bunch of slingers out as well. It's a bit of a strange unit to be seeing, but it makes some sense when you think about it. Kind of not really. Who knows? As the villagers on this gold mine now going to be getting themselves irrigation, bow saw, all the good stuff. As the army moving across the map, you're going to get caught out just a little bit. You do have to remember that. Wait. How? He's got himself mithril horseshoes, so these cavalry are sitting at 7.2 speed. I was going to say, you have to kind of remember that these are Oranos Contarius, so they move roughly at the same speed or a little bit faster than cavalry. So, but with mithril horseshoes, these cavalry go up to 7.2 speed, which is a lot of speed. As Kimo is going to continue to keep building out his units. We see the Contarius coming through over here. Going to be able to snipe down a villager or two in this position. As Ulysses is slowly but surely going to be motoring ahead in this game, as the villagers for Kimo are going to push up onto this location to drop a mining camp. But 2 citizens are already over here. They finished off all of that hunt on that position. As we do see this watchtower slowly but surely getting taken down. I wouldn't mind seeing like the slingers sitting on this town center or something like that, as Kimo does spot these 2 villagers over here, and we'll see how things are going to go here. Now, Ulysses at this point, he's got a kind of an option now when he goes to the Mythic Age. Generally speaking, in this matchup, Oranos is going to be hitting the Mythic Age, around about 15 minutes most of the time against standard Egyptian play. But this isn't standard Egyptian play. This is something completely different. So do you go through Hecate or do you go through Helios here? And I think the answer is you go through Helios at this point, as Ulysses is still trying to push through and get damage done. But I think underneath this Migdol stronghold, with the villagers potentially wanting to fight back, I think the Kimo should be able to hold here fairly easily. But he is losing a lot of villagers at this point. Meanwhile, over here, we do see the citizen getting pulled back. Those 2 slingers up in the top corner, they're going to be a little bit of a help here as well to try and take these out. This is a very low HP citizen with 1 HP remaining over here. Will the slinger get over here and deal with this? Yes, it does. No, he's attacking the other one. Okay, so he's going to be able to pick off both citizen there, most likely, as he does pick them both off. 2 citizen kills for the price of 1 villager there. Nice play, as both players losing a lot of economy in this game. As more units coming through here, we will be seeing the citizen moving forward onto this location, and we do see Hecate coming through here for Ulysses. I think this is a bit of a surprise. I think that Chemo's got favor. He's built monuments. I would probably think about building 2 temples here if you're playing as Kimo, knowing that potentially a Hecate could come through to get yourself the easy scarab to come out when you see the Tartarian gate coming through. But I mean, obviously, the other option is to just drop the Tartarian gate down onto this Migdol stronghold and deal with it that way. We still don't have any sort of upgrades here for the laborers of Kimo here. He needs that skin of the rhino at some point, as the Ark is still pushing through, and Kimo, he's sitting at 104 of 140 population. He's really struggling. I think Kimo, he's a little bit too scared of the chaos. I think the chaos have all been used here, so he should be going back in to myth units at this point. He's got 36 favor in the bank. Is he making them? Yes, he does. He is making them. So these Avengers are going to be a really big help here. Obviously, Ulysses has got all the favor as well in the world to do whatever he wants, as we do see this town center coming up on this position. The citizens coming through here. Ulysses does not see it, and the town center is going to pop here for Kimo, as he's going to have a fantastic time of it there. We'll see, will Kimo just immediately build himself a scarab over here to try and deal with this or not? As the town center goes up, the villagers are going to come over here and try and shank down this palace as fast as they possibly can, as the army going to be retreating back here. We will be seeing some Contarius coming through here, as the town center is going to be shooting down the citizen here as well, as the army is moving up onto this location. We do see a Lampede coming in. Does Ulysses see it? Answer, yes, he does, as the Lampede going to attempt to get taken down over, not quite going to be able to do so, as the Avenger does move over onto this position, going to go straight after those Arcus. Exactly what Kimo wants to have happen in this position, is Ulysses trying to send his Arcus forward to push that Avenger somewhere else. As now Kimo moves up onto this position, trying to take out this location. We do see a fire siphon coming through for Ulysses here as well. And Kimo in this moment says, wow, I just can't make it work in the end here. Ulysses is too strong. Ulysses lost both of his town centers. Tons of economy here. I mean, you have to remember that Kimo was 1 town center and went to the Mythic age, but I think that Kimo just had to keep building myth units, and potentially a 3rd monument wouldn't have gone astray here. If he kept building those Avengers instead of stopping after they were getting converted, he would have been able to hold much, much easier, I reckon. Also getting raids onto his opponent here wouldn't have gone astray, but he just couldn't hold on. I think this has to be the best way to play for Ra against Oranos, is this kind of fast mythic through Horus or through Osiris, or doing a heroic age push, just depending on what's happening. But didn't quite manage to make it work in this game. Ulysses showing the power of Oranos yet again. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. We'll check out the civilian unit graph here. As you can see, when the tornado hit, Ulysses was on 21 villages. He only really dropped down to 17 citizen here, compared to 30 villages of Chemo. Just to make this very, very clear, 20 citizen, 30 villages. This is kind of worth a real number. This is kind of worth about 50 to 60 villages, and that's a huge advantage that Ulysses is going to have here. So you got a lot of catching up to do. He just could not manage to make it work. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next game.